So basically my husband is joining the Air Force. You know, if I can help it, I'm gonna miss 30 minutes of whatever lesson I was supposed to be teaching to make sure that our environment is where it should be and to make sure that my kids feel safe. It is one of the best things I know to do in my classroom whenever I'm playing a video for my kids. I started doing digital anchor charts. I turned in my resignation to my school. I have days sometimes that are awesome, and then I have days like today that test me. I don't know why I'm giving you guys a kitchen sink tour, but here it is. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Maylene Call from Mrs. Call's Campers. If you're new here, I am a first grade teacher in Middle Tennessee, and today is Monday. I told you guys in last week's vlog about my observation and how I initially felt about it. Well, this morning I had my post conference with my principal and it went really well. And I feel like honestly the hardest part about the observations might just be putting your self scores in. If you're not familiar, or if you're in school to be a teacher, when you get observed, you put your scores in on how you think you did, and then whoever is observing you puts scores in, and then you can kind of compare them and line them up. And it's really hard because you don't want to look like you don't have confidence in yourself, so you don't want to score yourself too low, and you also don't want to look like, oh, you're perfect and you know everything. So you have to find a balance and like try to sit down and think about, you know, how you presented the lesson, what you could have done better, and score yourself based on the little information that they give you about it. And so we had my post conference today, and I feel like it went really well. She outscored me in places, and there is a couple places that I scored myself a little bit higher, so there was give and take there, but I am really satisfied with like my overall scores and with the feedback that she gave me, because she observed me during math, and when we start math we do like a fluency thing, and then we do our number talks, and number talks are not something that I feel like I am personally I don't feel like I've mastered them yet, and because I haven't seen really anybody do it. Like I did it in my student teaching, but it was kind of different. Like it wasn't as much as I think it like should have been, like what a number talk should really look like. And she was like, how do you feel about your number talks? I was like, I mean, I don't really know what they're supposed to look like. I am literally just guessing at what I think it should be. And it literally is like, you know, maybe like 5 minutes of your whole lesson is what your number talk is. And she was like, well, there's videos of this math person in our district doing them. And I was like, oh, well, if I had known those videos were there, I would have, you know, it would have looked way different. So she showed me that resource, and I'm really satisfied with it overall. So that is done, and it feels good to have that all over with. So I only have one more observation left, and that will be unannounced, but it will not be a full lesson. It'll be like maybe 20 minutes. They walk in and they basically assess like environment and things like that, which I feel like I nail. So that's good. She also really complimented me on like my routines and like the callbacks and stuff that we do. Like she said like all that is great and fantastic, and I'm like, good, because we've been working on it. My kids today, kind of hard to reel them back in to school. I felt like they wanted to play a lot, but I feel like Mondays, it's very typical for them. They were also really excited about our door being complete and everything. They loved the decoration. I added a little fairy to the little window in my door, so she's super cute. But around noon, my stomach started getting really tight, and I just started getting really nervous because, and I've been keeping this from you guys for a long time, because what's happening now was supposed to happen last January, and it didn't happen. So basically my husband is joining the Air Force, which is why you might see in the background, I don't know if you can see, I'm at the recruiter's office right now. It's kind of like their last little meeting, and I'm about to take him to the Nashville airport, because that's where his flight leaves from, and he has to stay the night in Nashville. They have like a hotel for him, and I can't stay with him. But he was supposed to go into the Air Force. He was supposed to leave last January 30th, 2 weeks before. He had a medical issue, and we've spent an entire year getting it sorted out. So I am not going to see him for 2 months. I know that we're going to be able to communicate a little bit, like we're going to be able to send letters, and you know, he'll have a certain amount of like phone calls he can make and things like that. But it really, last night was hard, Saturday was hard, but it didn't feel real. And now it's starting to feel real, and I kind of teared up a little bit earlier at school just thinking about it, because I know I'm gonna try to keep myself busy with school. I know that I'm gonna try to, you know, like read more and work out more and like pour myself into YouTube even more and just try to keep myself busy. That's him, so I'm gonna go and I'll see you guys soon. Hey guys, it is Tuesday after school. I don't know why I said after school, because it's literally 10 o'clock at night. I think it's called bedtime on my phone, where it like basically it shuts off your, you know, notifications and things like that at whatever time you set it for, and it like tells you to go to bed and everything. I'm still awake, obviously, but the reason it's so late is because after school today, I stayed for a little while because I was kind of putting off coming home, I guess. I think where I left off yesterday was me picking up my husband at the recruiter's office. I told you guys he is joining the Air Force, and so last night I drove him to Nashville, which we live in Murfreesboro, so it's right by Nashville anyway. Of course, now I can't say we because he won't be back, so I live in Murfreesboro. That's weird. I shouldn't talk like that. Anyways, Nashville is not far away, so I took him to the hotel that he was staying in last night, and it's like really strict. Like, even though we're married and I'm his wife, like I wasn't allowed in the hotel room at all. Like, I wasn't even allowed to like go in the room. So we ended up just hanging out in Nashville for a little bit before he had to go. We went to this place called Party Fowl, I think is what it was called. I had hot chicken, and there was this guy there who scared me so bad. Like, I've never been in a situation where I was like actually scared, but I went into the women's restroom and I used the restroom, and I opened my door and there's a man standing in there, like a man in a hoodie, and I just stared at him and I said, "Get out." And he just looked at me, he was like, "I don't know, I didn't know which one was the men's bathroom." And I was like, "Get out." Like, I was screaming at him to get out. And he was obviously incredibly intoxicated, and I was scared for him, and I was like, what is happening? And I screamed at him a couple times, and finally he like steps out, and I like pushed the door kind of shut. It was one of those, not like a handle, but it just like was a push door, you know what I mean? And I was like holding it shut, and then he pushed back and he was like, "I didn't know which restroom." And I screamed at him again, and then I went and I told one of the waitresses, I was like, "Hey, I was just in the women's restroom and there was a guy in there and he wouldn't leave, and he was like pushing back on the door." And apparently my husband had seen him enter the restaurant, and he was like with a big, you know, group, I guess, and he ended up getting kicked out, and it was right when we were leaving anyway. But I was like, good for them, you know, for not even taking the chance, because I told them, I was like, he is incredibly intoxicated and he was in the women's restroom, so they kicked him out. So that was fun. But basically we, you know, said goodbye. I drove home, cried the whole way home, cried when I got home, cried before I went to bed. I woke up, I cried, I got ready, I put on waterproof mascara because guess what, on my way to school, I cried. Like, it wasn't a very fun start to my morning, but actually one of the teachers on my team brought me like a burrito, and another teacher offered to bring me coffee, but I was walking Tesla when she asked, and so I couldn't say anything. But I don't know, I just feel like the best part about this is that I do have people who, you know, are supporting me and are gonna help me through it. Everybody was really, really kind today and understanding, and I don't know, it's hard. And I don't know how many of you really even care to hear this, but it is a big part of my life. And I know you guys don't really see him on camera because he doesn't want to be on camera, but that's just something that I'm going through right now. I was in contact with him today, you know, through his flights and everything, and he landed in Texas, and, you know, he called me and he was like, "Hey, you know, I love you," all that stuff. And yeah, so I don't know when I'm gonna hear from him again. But yeah, other than that, I feel like I wanted to mention something else. Oh, I got home today and my sister, she actually came by and dropped it off yesterday, but you know, I saw a box sitting on the counter, and it just, when I came home, I just wanted to go to bed, so I didn't open it. But I don't know if you could tell what that was because I don't feel like getting up, but it's like a little box of sunshine, you know, just to cheer me up a little bit. So that was really nice. I told my kids today, I explained to them, you know, where my husband was going, and I told them like, Miss Call is a little sad today because I feel like it's important to be honest with them. And they were really excited about it actually, and we're probably gonna write him letters too. So I came home and I watched the Predators game because I gotta keep him updated on the Predators scores because he can't watch. Luckily the Predators won and I get a free coffee tomorrow. So as far as my day went, I have to say today was different. And I know that I was emotionally not where I wanted to be, and you know, I told my kids like, hey, Miss Call's gonna be really sad today, but this is why, this is what's happening, it is a really good thing. And I just explained about, you know, my husband going into the Air Force, and they were really excited. But there were just little things throughout the day that just made it a hard day, and I had so many tears. I had so many kids that were upset. I even had parents messaging me about you know, things that happened yesterday, and there were just all of these problems, and it was overwhelming to me on top of the, you know, emotions that I was already feeling. It just was so much. And around lunchtime something else happened, and I just kept having to pull kids aside and have conversations with them and talk to them, and I was like, I can't let this day end in this way. I can't let this go on because I don't know, that's just me. I don't like things to get worse. You know, if I can help it, I'm gonna miss 30 minutes of whatever lesson I was supposed to be teaching to make sure that our environment is where it should be and to make sure that my kids feel safe because they're at school. So after lunch, that's the time when we normally come in, put our heads down. We did that, but I immediately started talking to them. So I had them all come to the carpet and I just talked to them, and I was like, there have been some problems happening in our classroom. What's going on? And everybody just kind of sat there, and finally someone raised their hand and she said, it seems like lately everybody's being a boss. And that kind of hit me, and it's one of my students who I love so much, because one of the big lessons I did, the very first lesson I did with them, you know, at the beginning of the year, was a leader versus a boss, and making that distinction and all the things that leaders do and all the things that bosses do. And we had this big conversation around it. Then I just mentioned, like, these are the things that I'm hearing going on. This is how it makes me feel. How does that make you feel? And we talked about that. The thing is, I teach 6 and 7-year-olds, and 6 and 7-year-olds still have their problems just like we do, and they might not seem like they're as important, but they are. And you know what? I have kids in my class who will tell each other, I'm not your friend, or I'm not gonna be your friend. And then the next day they're best friends. But at that point, they've already gone home and told their parents, so-and-so did this, so-and-so did that, and then their parents message me, and I'm like, they're fine today, like, it's just how it goes. But they do, they have their problems, and we spent 30 minutes today, literally 30 minutes, just talking about ways that we can fix our problems and the right way to react and things that you can do. Problems that we were having in our class, you know, students were asking about problems they were having at home, and I was just talking them through different situations. We were brainstorming things we could do. We were brainstorming, you know, ways to make our class better, things we could do to be better people, things we could do to be leaders. And I feel like it really, really helped, and it could have gone on for hours. I'm not kidding you guys, because I asked them, I was like, does anybody have a question? Does anybody need help solving a problem? And they were more than willing to share. They were like, well, what if so-and-so does this and I tell them this? What if so-and-so does this? What if this happens? And it's hard because as a teacher, you want to tell them, like, there is a very simple solution to everything. But for them, it's so much harder. They don't have all of that experience with these problems yet. They're still building that. They're still learning how to deal with these problems. So I feel like today really, really helped them. And I had a lot of students even mention things about, you know, at home, like, what can I do with this issue at home? And it almost breaks my heart in a way because, you know, you can't be there for them all the time. And I'm sure things seem a little bit different to them, but I feel like that was something that really benefited our class today. And I was about to go crazy because I had tears all day long, and it's just days like this that are just hard. But I'm hoping tomorrow is a better day, and even towards the end of the day, like, it got better, so that's a good feeling. But it's exhausting to deal with those sorts of things. We don't even have a morning meeting, and I feel like that affects our class. We just don't, because we immediately go to specials, then we come back, we immediately go to intervention, and then it's time for literacy. Like, there is no time for us to really have a morning meeting when everybody is there. I'm gonna have to figure out a way to get that time in somehow with my kids, whether it is right when we come in from lunch instead of putting our heads down, because I feel like after lunch there are just so many things that they want to tell me. So I might end up doing some kind of short, maybe 5 or 10 minute meeting time after lunch for us to do this, because I think they really need that. But we did end up having a, you know, good rest of the day. I actually invented a new game for my kids. I'm calling it Divide and Conquer because I was on the spot and I didn't have a name, but I have 4 different groups for literacy and 4 different groups for math. And so I gave each group a corner of our rug, and these groups are mixed skill level. Like, it's a mix of students that are in the groups because it's their center groups, not the groups that pull for small groups. And so I gave each group a corner of the rug, and I gave them little buzzers, and I had the group leaders get a whiteboard, a marker, and an eraser, and I don't know, I had this idea kind of on the spot because I just needed to do something different with them. Like, I was kind of tired of the same way we review things, and you know, I just felt like we needed something to up the game a little bit. So whenever I feel like that, I always try to play a game with my kids. So what I ended up saying was, I'm gonna give you a category. You are gonna work together as a team to come up with an answer. And then when you're ready, you know, the person buzzes it and holds it up. And you have X amount of time to do it. But the trick is, you're only gonna get a point if, for 1, your answer has to be right, and for 2, you have to think of an answer that none of the other groups have. And I am so glad I did that, because it was the quietest game, because they didn't want to be loud, because if they were loud, someone would hear their answer. Oh my gosh, y'all, it was awesome. So I did like a category for adjectives, because we had been working on that. And in first grade, the adjective that my friends like to think of is pretty. And like 3 people wrote pretty on their board, so none of them got a point. So it kind of has them thinking outside of the box a little bit. So we did it with like adjectives and verbs, and everybody, you know, got a turn, and they were working together. And the first verb that comes to mind for first graders, at least in my class, is running or something like that. And so they were having to think of verbs that another group wouldn't think of, and they were being so quiet about it. It was the most fun review I've ever done with them. And it was just kind of spur of the moment. You know, I had extra time, and I was like, we're just gonna do this because we need something different. And sometimes that's what you need. I showed in an Instagram story, I don't know, maybe like a week ago, that I got 2 books in the mail, 2 professional development books, because I'm doing 2 different book studies. One book study is online through Teachers Connect. Megan started like a little page for a book study on the book We Got This, and then my school is doing a book study on the book Lost at School, which I have heard so much about, and it was already on my wish list for professional development books anyway. So I went ahead and ordered it, and we talked about, you know, the first couple of chapters. And so far, I think it is definitely worth it to read, just because we haven't gotten too far into the book at all, but I can already tell that I'm really gonna like it, just because it's kind of helping you shift your mindset a little bit into children and their behaviors, and you know, the root of the problem. And I think books like that are really important, whether you're a first-year teacher for me or whether you've been teaching for 15 years. It's the kind of book that no matter who reads it, you're gonna walk away with something different, and it's gonna benefit your students. And behaviors are so challenging. The most difficult part of teaching can be classroom management. It can be so incredibly stressful if you have a hard class. Luckily, I feel like I have an amazing class this year. I don't know how I'm ever gonna top it. I love them so much. But there still are things that, you know, I want to improve on as an educator, and there are still things that, you know, I want to further understand, and there are still things that I want to know. There are still things that I want to help my students do, you know, emotionally, behaviorally. So I'm looking forward to this book study, and I think that's about it. Look at her. I don't know if you can tell, but she was being really cute. Here she comes. Tesla, at least I have you to keep me company, huh? At least I have you to keep me company. That being said, I'm going to let you go, and I will see you on Wednesday. Hey friends, happy Wednesday. It is about 6:45, or not about, it is 6:45. I left pretty much right after school. The only thing I had to do was progress reports, and progress reports are usually really quick. I usually don't have to reference like my grades or anything for that because it's just pretty straightforward. Like either they get it or they are not getting those skills. The only thing that takes me a little while is the behavior section of it, because we have to like mark the things that they need improvement on or that they're showing improvement on. And for me, that's something that like really important to communicate with the parents. I feel like in general, I am really good at communicating with my parents, or at least I hope so. I try to make an effort to let my parents know when their child is doing well and they're being successful, or when they might need a little bit of help. I feel like that's something that I am really good at doing, is communicating with them. So I just wanna make sure, you know, the progress reports accurately reflect those behaviors in the classroom. But yeah, progress reports were pretty much the only thing that I did after school. And it was pouring rain all day today, and my poor kids had to stay inside all day long, and I feel like they just get a little bit, you know, crazy when that happens because they can't go outside and they need to go outside. So I hate that for them, but hopefully tomorrow it won't be raining. It probably will be. I'm not sure. But we are continuing talking about fairy tales, and my kids are so into it, and we're not teaching fairy tales. Like, our standard is not teach kids the fairy tales. We're teaching character traits and setting and plot and all that stuff through fairy tales, and they're actually gonna get to write their own fairy tales. So we finished up our main character today for their writing, because they're writing their very own fairy tale. So they've all come up with their main character that is their own character. They're not, you know, retelling another story. And a lot of them, that's what they wanted to do. They wanted to write a story about like JoJo Siwa, which if you don't know who she is, just you don't. But they wanted to be, you know, JoJo Siwa, or you know, other characters that they know or people that they know in real life. So I had to help them kind of come up with, okay, do you want your main character to be a person or an animal? Like, what's a name you would like for them? And then we talked about character traits that they would have, what they would look like. Used all our adjectives, because we just finished up studying adjectives. So this is a really cool extension of that with the character traits. And I started teaching them a song. It's called The ABCs of You by Red Grammar. And this song, I only know it exists because when I was in second, hold on, I need water. But I remember I taught it to my first graders that I student taught with, and they loved the song. And the only reason that I know that it exists is because in second grade, I learned the song. And I remember as a second grader, whenever I was trying to think of a word when I was writing, I would sing that song until I found the word I was looking for. And the whole song is basically a big list of character traits that's in ABC order. So even to this day, I remembered every single word to that song. A1 grade, A beloved and beautiful, capable, caring, delightful, dependable, one of a kind, pleasing, priceless, queen-like in quality. Yes, 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 you're one in a zillion. Anyways, that's the song. It does not go that fast, but I wrote out all of the lyrics for them. Basically, I made every line a different color because it is a lot of words and it is a lot to track and a lot to keep up with. And I played this song on YouTube at 75% speed, which if you didn't know you can do this, y'all, it is one of the best things I know to do in my classroom whenever I'm playing a video for my kids, because a lot of times the videos that you show kids, they're talking really quickly in the video, and for kids that's not the best. So a lot of times what I like to do is, if you are on a YouTube video, which you are right now, there is a little gear. It should be somewhere over here. It's the settings gear. If you click it and go to speed, you can make the video slower or faster. So I know a lot of like adults will use this and they will make the video faster so they can get more content in and they don't have to listen to like a 30-minute video. They'll speed it up so that the person on the video is just talking quicker and they can, you know, watch the video faster. But for my kids, to help them process everything that's happening, you know, if we're doing a song, if we're watching some kind of educational video that I pull up, I put it on 75% speed, so 0.75. And it just slows it down a little bit for them, just enough, I think. So that's a little tip that I have always used to help my kids, and I hope that helps you. Because it's true, a lot of the videos that are out there for kids, they talk really quickly. And if you're teaching them a new concept or you're, you know, helping them with something, no matter what it's for, it's probably gonna be better, especially if you have younger ones, to just slow that video down just a little bit. So basically I played the video for them at 75% speed and I was pointing to the lyrics, and my kids are so into it. Like, they are so into that song. I see them going to the anchor chart and just like practicing it throughout the day. I had one girl bring in a notebook so she could literally copy the whole song so she could practice it at home. I'm just gonna send it out on Class Dojo because that would make everybody's life easier. But it's a really, really great way to help them think of character traits and not just the typical good, pretty, nice, happy, you know what I mean? And it actually works out. Oh, I'm still wearing my lanyard. I always do that. I always forget to take my lanyard off. I'll go out to eat after school or something and I'll have it on because I'll forget to leave it in my car. You guys forget to take your lanyard off because I feel like it's a problem. Anyways, we are teaching shades of meaning, I think, next week. So basically just using stronger adjectives. So this is gonna play in really nicely, and whenever my kids were, you know, creating their character today, they were referencing the chart and they were like, my character is incredible. My character is caring. And that's one of my favorite things, is to see them actually using the things I put up on the wall because that's why it's there. It's for them. So I just get a really good feeling whenever I see my kids going to a spot in the room that they know they can get information from. It's just a good feeling because I put a lot of effort into the things that I put up on the wall. Speaking of, we are studying fairy tales and I started doing digital anchor charts. Now, this is not something that I'm going to do every single time I teach a lesson. No. A lot of times you want the kids, especially in the lower grades, you know, to come up and to add information for you. But I really, really like what I'm using this for now. And I've already shown you in previous videos how I change the size of a PowerPoint slide. I just changed the size of a PowerPoint slide to, I think, 11 by 17. And I am doing an anchor chart for each fairy tale book that we're doing, and we're repeating a lot of the themes in each book. So we're, you know, going through the character traits, we're going through the plot, we're going through the setting, the main idea, you know, special vocabulary, things like that. So for Little Red Riding Hood, what I did was I used AirPlay to get my MacBook, just a regular MacBook. The only port is a USB-C, like there is nothing else. And I AirPlayed it to my projector, whatever, because we have Apple AirPlay at our school and it's been a lifesaver for me. Anyways, that's another story. I basically just put up the title, Little Red Riding Hood, a picture of Little Red Riding Hood, the wolf, and then just the headings for setting, main idea, and vocabulary. All the words that you see here were not on there. So beforehand we made predictions because a lot of them really didn't know the story of Little Red Riding Hood already. Like, what do you know about Little Red? What do you know about the wolf? And I put their predictions over on the gray side, and then as we went through the book, however I would normally create an anchor chart is how I added to this one. And so, you know, we talked about the character traits, we talked about like the big theme, the setting, main idea, vocabulary, all of that. And I really, really liked it because, for one, it made it a whole lot more accessible than an anchor chart, because the anchor chart is a lot lower, usually because I do it on an easel. If you do it on your board anyway, everybody would be able to see it. But I can make this a lot bigger. The print is bigger for my kids. I'm a faster typer than I am a writer, and I feel like I didn't have to turn my back to my kids at all, because I can type looking at them while I'm typing and it'll pop up on the screen for them. If you know kind of the layout of my whole group area, which you've seen a million pictures of by now, I can be looking at them and doing it, whereas if I have to write with a marker on an anchor chart, I do have to turn my back a little bit, or turn my shoulder, and I have to focus on what I'm writing and not on the student. So that is a big benefit to it. I feel like I am better able to organize myself in the digital format, because that's just who I am. If you know me, you know that I'm not like incredibly tech savvy, but I really am into like design and things like that. And so this works really, really well for me. And I printed the anchor charts, and I'm going to add an anchor chart, like I said, every single day for each book. So the one we did today was Goldilocks and the Three Bears, and this is what it looks like. So this is the finished anchor chart. And oh, you know what, I guess I can show you guys how I print it. So I'm really excited about this because I have a color printer. I use HP Instant Ink. If you are not part of the HP Instant Ink program, you are eligible if you have an HP printer. I have the link down in my description box. I think you get a free month free is what it is. I don't know. I use it and I am never not using it ever again. No pressure on you to use my link or anything, but it's there for you if you want it. Okay, so it's done printing and it basically just becomes one big puzzle and it's falling. And all you have to do is cut it and then tape it together. And I laminated mine just to make sure it all kind of held because, you know, it's just better if you're taping something together. So that is what I'm gonna go ahead and do. Not tape it together, I'm just gonna cut it and then I'm gonna tape it together at school so it doesn't get messed up. Okay, so this is basically what it is going to look like. I'll give you my hand for reference on just how big it actually is, but it's pretty easy. You know, they have little cut marks for you, so you can't really mess it up. I like to use this so I can be a little bit more precise than scissors. And yeah, I put a piece of tape face down so that sticky kind of on this side, and I'll just lay it on top and kind of push those together. That way the tape doesn't show through on the front, and then laminate it. But I really like this. If you think, you know, like, oh, you know, it just takes a lot of time to cut, I think that the time it takes to cut is still quicker than if I was writing it out. Like, to me, it is worth it because this looks really good. It's basically a custom poster. So probably tomorrow I will film a little video, like 5 minutes, showing you step by step how to do it. I would put it in this video, but I want it to be separate. That way, if you know, you ever need to reference it, you don't have to go, which vlog did she talk about printing a poster in? Like, it'll just be a separate video for you. And in the future, which it should be out by the time this video comes out, so I'll link it for you right here if you want to go watch it. I'll try to be really specific so that you know exactly what to do. So I think that's about it. After school I went shopping at Target, and I can't show you what I got just because it is for a teacher Galentine's video that a lot of YouTubers are doing. Basically, we did the Secret Santa YouTube collaboration, which if you haven't seen that video, I'll link it for you right up here so you can go watch after you watch this video. But a lot of YouTubers and we came together and we did a little Secret Santa gift exchange. So we did the same kind of thing for Valentine's Day. So I finished up my shopping at Target today for the things that I'm getting my little Galentine, and I'm gonna ship that out tomorrow. And the reason I don't want to share it is I don't know if she will or will not watch this vlog, and I don't want her to open her package and immediately think, I know who this is from. So that'll be a surprise. And while I was shopping for her, I got a call from my husband, and I will kind of keep you guys updated just a little bit, just because, like I said, I don't know if anybody else is going through this or maybe going through this, but I kind of just want to share the whole process with you guys and my husband in the military and all of that. And so I got a call from him while I was at the store, and I answered, and basically all he was really able to say was, hey, I'm here, this is my address, this is where you can send things. And I was like typing it into the notes on my phone because I didn't have a pencil and paper, and I was so nervous that I was gonna like miss a number or a letter or something, because it's like a really long address to send letters to. And I, you know, sent all that information to our family so they have it and they can send them letters and things like that. But it was just really hard because I wanted to talk to him, you know, and it was really nice to hear his voice. But I don't know when he's gonna call again. So hopefully it's not when I'm teaching. Hopefully it is after school so that I can be able to answer it. Yeah, and I turned in my resignation to my school, which is really sad because this is a school that I really like, and I could see myself teaching here. This is where I would choose to teach if I was not leaving. There is no reason for me to want to leave this school. I really like it. So The job search begins in Mississippi. So if you're a teacher in Mississippi, I'm gonna be coming your way soon. If you wanna hook a girl up with a job, we could be teacher besties. I just get so nervous thinking about job hunting all over again. So I'm gonna go for today and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Hey friends, and happy Thursday. Actually, not a happy Thursday. Today was a rough Thursday, and you know what? I have days sometimes that are awesome, and then I have days like today that test me on a whole other level. I've told you guys before, like, I have a great class. I truly do. I think I have an amazing class, but lately I've been letting certain students get the best of me. I just can't have it anymore. I really can't. So I'll tell you how it started. It started at 6:58 in the morning when I woke up and there was light coming in through my window. Not supposed to be light coming in when I wake up. It's supposed to be really, really dark because I normally wake up at 5. But I woke up at 2 minutes till 7. I'm supposed to be at school at 7:15, guys. I live 15 minutes away. So I literally threw on the biggest, most comfy shirt I could find, pants, brushed my teeth, grabbed my bag of makeup, fed my dog, and ran out the door. And I got there about 15 minutes late. I had to call my principal, which of course is not a fun thing to do. And when I came in, the first thing my kids said was, "Miss Call, what happened to your eyes?" Because I have really dark under eye circles. And I was just like, don't talk to me right now. Like, I didn't have coffee, I didn't have anything. But they went to specials and I put on makeup, and I came back and they were like, "Miss Call, you put on makeup." And I was just like, ugh. Oh my goodness. We are continuing talking about fairy tales. Today we read The Three Little Pigs, but I had so many interruptions. Like, my kids were just not ready to learn, and I forgot to use my little clicker thing that I've been using and loving, that I got from Fernanda, who got it from someone else on Instagram. And I'm like, dang it, I need to remember to use that thing, because when I use it, they're really good. But today they just were not ready to learn. Their brains were somewhere else apparently. They were just acting crazy. And my least favorite thing, like one of my biggest pet peeves, is when my kids hang on the ledge of the whiteboard, and they're little and they love to like hang on it and pull on it while I'm teaching. And I'm like, what are you children? Come on now, what are you doing? Like, I'm over here, your butt should be on the learning leaf, you should be looking at me. I don't know why you're hanging on my board. I don't know why you're hanging on my board when I just told your friend 3 times not to hang on my board. Like, what are you doing? Just things like that. It just felt overall like we were just having a messy day. Like, it just felt messy, and that's the best word I can use to describe it. And I do have to say, like, some of it is my fault, and you know what, I'm okay with saying that, because this week for me was not planned out the way I've planned out like every other week. This week has been hard on me, mentally, emotionally, all of that. And I didn't, you know, do our weekly PowerPoint that I always do that keeps us on track and keeps us going. I didn't do any of it. I barely planned for, you know, my day. And so I feel like some of it is my fault because I wasn't giving them, you know, all of the structure that they needed. So I have to take some credit for how today went, but at the same time, my kids know our routine and they know what's acceptable and they know what's not acceptable in our class. And I have one little boy, oh my goodness, y'all, every day, it feels like every hour, something is happening with him. He can't get it together, and I'm trying so hard, and I'm trying to be so patient with him, because it's to the point where like he's mean to other kids and tries to get other kids in trouble, and then when other kids treat him the way that he treats them, he has a big problem with it. But I can't feel that bad because I'm like, this is the way you've been treating them all year long. Is it okay? No, it's not okay. Does everything need to be fixed? Yes. Are we getting there? I hope so. Really hope so. But it's just, you know, it always seems like there's something. Like, we could be having the best day ever and there will be something that he does, even if I'm giving him, you know, all the attention in the world. So, dealing with that. I just have that one boy. And the worst part is, the other day at recess, you know, he put his hands in a violent way, even though they were playing, on another child, and then, you know, of course you have to message their parents and just say, hey, like, this happened, can you please talk to them and reinforce that this is not the behavior that we need to have at school, it's not safe, etc., etc. And then I get a message back and it's like, oh, okay, I'll take care of it. And then I get another message saying, yeah, he didn't do that. And I'm just like, oh, it's frustrating. But anyways, I carried in my frustrations with my class during my whole group lesson when we were reading The Three Little Pigs. I carried all those frustrations into our center time when I normally do guided reading, and I pulled one of my groups, and it's my lowest group, and they just weren't doing anything I asked them to. And I don't mean like they weren't doing it, they were just doing everything. They weren't following like the procedures that have been in place since we started doing guided reading. I would tell them to like wait here or stop here or stretch this sound out with me, and they just were not listening. And part of it was they were trying to just go because they thought they had it, but they did not have it. And I got so frustrated with them and I sent them away. And that time is something that they really value. They love coming to that back table and reading with me because I make it such a big deal, and it is really special, incredible time with them. But I sent them away. I was like, you lost the privilege, go back to your center. And yeah, it was not a very fun morning, and I think there's a lot of reasons why it was not fun. By the end of the day, it was slightly better. It's just sometimes one thing after another, after another, after another, and I feel like there's been so much on me, you know, emotionally, that it just wasn't a great day. But at the end of the day, I always tell my kids, today was a great day, tomorrow is going to be an even better day, right before I walk them out. And today, instead of saying that, I said today was not a great day and tomorrow's gonna be even better. And they laughed and they thought it was funny, and you know, I apologized to them beforehand. It's something I think is really important to do because there have been times before where I have lost my cool in the classroom because it just happens, because I'm not perfect, they're not perfect. I tell them I don't expect them to be perfect, and they don't expect me to be perfect. And I make sure that I show them, like whenever I have a situation that I feel frustrated in emotionally, I show them like, hey, Miss Call did not handle that the right way. I should not have yelled at you. What I should have done instead was X, Y, and Z. And I think just me saying that to them is so important because I'm not perfect, and I feel like having, you know, just a teacher model for them like, hey, I made a mistake, I shouldn't have acted this way, but this is what I'm going to do and this is what I'm going to do next time. I think for them, I think that's so powerful because like I talk to them all the time like, hey, was that a strong choice you made? No. Okay, so what should you have done? What are you gonna do next time? And I feel like just giving them the chance to see that from me helps them in a way, or at least I'm hoping it helps them. So tomorrow is going to be a better day. It's Friday. I love Fridays. I love Mondays, but I also really, really love Fridays. And I came home to some Happy Meal. So I had ordered a book, and I had seen it on, I think Instagram is where somebody posted it. And I was like, oh, I have to have that book. So I put it on my wish list. And then as a team, we were planning for, I don't know, maybe just like Black History Month in general. But the theme in this book is really just like accepting other people, you know, no matter who they are and their cultures. It's really, really cute. It's called The Day You Begin. And it looks like this. There will be times when you walk into a room and no one there is quite like you. There are lots of reasons to feel different. Maybe it's how you look or talk or where you're from. Maybe it's what you eat or something just as random. Whatever it is, it's not easy to take those first steps into a place where nobody knows you, but somehow you do it. Some of the illustrations in the book, I just love it, and I'm so glad I ordered it. So I got that, and then I also ordered some new sunglasses. Also got a package from Grove. I don't really know if I've mentioned Grove on my channel before. I think I have, but it is Grove Collaborative, and I always have their link down below in the description box, so check it out if you're interested. But these are some things that I got this month. The first is these reusable snack bags. I've had these before. It comes with two, and I like them because the bottom is flat, so they can kind of stand up, and you can just like wash them out when you're done, so you don't have to use like a million plastic bags. But I have these. I got some more multi-surface spray, some more of this hand soap because I have a lot of extra hand soap, but I needed more of like this kind. I have this shower spray, which is one of my favorite things in the whole wide world. You spray it whenever you're done in the shower, and it kind of keeps it from getting really, really nasty until you clean your bathtub. And then finally I have this, which is also one of my favorite things, and I repurchase this all the time. It is Caldria, I'm not sure how you say it, but it's a countertop spray and it smells so stinking good. So usually I keep it right here, which actually this bottle is from Grove too, and it has some Myers multi-purpose spray in there right now. So as soon as I finish this bottle, I'm gonna put this in there. Actually, all of my sink stuff is from Grove. I have the lemon verbena scent right now from Miss Myers. This is a, what do you call it? Cup bottle brush thing from them. It looks really, really nice. It's got a wooden handle, and this is their bubble up brush. So it comes with this little container, and then you like pump it and it makes bubbles. For scrubbing. Sponges are from them too. All of my extra cleaning supplies under my sink right here. I'm gonna go ahead down in there. I'm kind of a freak because I really, really like to have extra cleaning supplies. Like it's just something that makes me feel really good. So I have the Myers multi-surface spray, which is what is in that clear Grove collaborative bottle, and I've used almost all of it. So I have it in the honeysuckle scent, and I have the lemon verbena scent, and then behind it I have some dish soap that I meant to use over Christmas, and then I have some dish soap that I meant to use over Christmas and I forgot I had it. And then I keep my kitchen hand soaps here, my kitchen lotions here. Actually, that was wrong. Hand soap, lotions, there we go. Actually, this should be there, that looks better. And then anything else I keep here. So these are sprays. This is a room spray that I sometimes use in my kitchen. It's the honeysuckle scent. And then underneath I just keep, well, I don't know why I'm giving you guys a kitchen sink tour, but here it is. I keep some magic erasers. This is an expandable cellulose sponge that I got from Grove. I only partially expanded it, as you can see. And then I keep like a million extra scrubbies and sponges. I should have packs of sponges, and these are all from Grove. Just because like I like to swap my sponges out often, so that's what's under my sink. I don't know, I really like using Grove because it's free shipping if you like order a certain amount, which I always meet that quote, and they'll send you things automatically. And y'all, seriously, I know a lot of people are like, hey, be careful ordering from Grove because they'll just send you things, and they send out an email reminder like a couple days before your package is coming, because what they like to do is build you like a little, hey, this is what we think you need, but you can always go in and change it. And if they ship you something that you don't want or you don't need, and you completely forgot to take it out of your car, and they bill you and they ship it to you, they will literally send you a label. Like they will give you a label to print, and you can mail it right back to them and get a refund, which I've had to do I think twice because I didn't check my cart and I just let the package come to me. So it's really not a big deal, but I love using them. That's where I get my hand sanitizer that I love so much. I keep it by my front door. I also got some things from my mother-in-law because she goes to my classroom wish list every now and then and sends me stuff, and I am literally so grateful. I always have my classroom wish list linked in my description box for you guys, and I update it all the time with things that I'm wanting or needing for my classroom. And so some of the things she sent me is this book, which I really like. I saw it at a professional development, but we're going back to studying plants again soon, so I'm gonna be reading this book with them. But the pictures are absolutely stunning. Here's a little excerpt from it. You can pause if you want to read that. And then she sent me some thin expo markers, and then she sent me these tangrams, which is awesome because I literally did not have any tangrams, and I just finished teaching shapes, so now I can go ahead and put these in, you know, some of my math centers for my kids to use because they loved it. But when I taught shapes, I actually had to borrow shapes from someone else, so now I have my own set and I'm so excited. So yeah, I love coming home to mail, and I needed it today to just have those things to make me happy. Thursday is normally the day that I stay late and make copies, but did I stay today? Heck no, I got my booty out of there. It's just, part of me was like, you know what, it's Thursday, you should stay. But I just need to get my life together. Like, if being at school is going to stress me out, I'm not gonna be there. And so I skipped the day I normally take to plan and make copies, and I just went home. So I'm here now, and I'm really excited. And I am probably going to start reading this book that I showed you guys before, called We Got This. I mentioned I was doing that book study with Megan from Too Cool for middle school. Pretty sure we were supposed to have our first post in the little chat by now, but I've had a lot going on, so I haven't even started reading yet. So I'm probably going to do the first little section that we're reading tonight and go on and post on there and see what other people are saying about it, because I am so pumped to read this book. I'm also going to print the anchor chart that I made today for the Three Little Pigs. I made it during our whole group lesson for the Three Little Pigs. I mentioned to you guys we started writing or creating our characters for our fairy tale. So far they have created their main character, which is like their good character. And some of them have really funny characters. And today we worked on our villain and coming up with character traits for our villain. And it is so funny, you guys, because on here, on the character traits I have for the way that we described our villains, some of the character traits I put in quotation marks. So for example, in Little Red Riding Hood, the wolf seemed kind and charming, and Goldilocks seemed sweet. But we had big conversations around, was the wolf actually kind? Was he actually charming? Was Goldilocks actually sweet? No, they were kind, they were charming, they were sweet, they were just pretending. And some of my kids, when they were writing their character traits for their villain, put like, oh, they were sneaky and wicked and, you know, whatever. But then some of them put kind and sweet in quotation marks on their paper, and I was like, I love it. And they came up to me and they were like, Miss Call, I said my villain was kind. It's like, I'm proud of you, because it's moments like that when it's like, you don't tell them to do things and they just do it because, you know, they see you do it. I just love it. So there was some good to the day, believe it or not. So with that being said, I'm gonna try to do something for myself tonight, other than eat cookies. I'll see you tomorrow. Actually, I have one more thing that I want to do with you guys. So a company called Formulate reached out to me, and basically, if you've never heard of them, which I have heard of them, they are a custom shampoo and conditioner company. So basically, they create a shampoo that's completely customized to you and what you need and what you want for your hair, your goals, and things like that. And you start by taking a survey. So I am going to share my screen with you guys so that you can see what the survey is. I'm probably just going to keep you updated on my Formulate journey, because custom shampoo is really something that appealed to me once I got my haircut, and my hairdresser informed me that the shampoo I'm using is terrible for me. So I'm actually gonna take my glasses off so there's not like a reflection on me, but here we go. So my first name is Maylene. Email, so I'm 24. Female. Okay. So I have never done my hair. My hair is brown and my hair is long. Naturally my hair is pinned straight. So if I sleep on it, it's wavy. So for a second I almost picked wavy, but my hair is pinned straight. It's kind of been up in ponytails and buns, but it is pinned straight. So I'm gonna go straight. How thick is the strand of your hair? Roll a single strand between your fingers. What? Okay. I think medium, because I can feel it. Medium. We'll go with medium. How oily is your hair? You know, this is hard because I don't wash my hair that often, and so I don't know. I use a lot of dry shampoo. Let's go with, oh, oily roots and dry ends. I'm gonna go with oily roots and dry ends. Yeah. How sensitive is your scalp? My scalp is really sensitive. I have dandruff right now and it's killing me. I think I'll do this, tight and itchy. How often do you notice dandruff on your shoulders? So I just said I had dandruff. I don't notice it on my shoulders. Like right before I'm about to wash my hair is when I start getting more dandruff. I'll just say often. How many days per week do you shampoo? 2, that's about right. 2 days. How many days do you use conditioner? 2. Past 2 months, nope. Hair colored, nope. Sometimes I use a curling iron. I do use mousse, and I don't really use oil on a regular basis. And I never use hairspray. Okay. That is so cool. It tells you your area, like the average. Wow, that is neat. Okay, yay. Now it's asking about hair goals. Choose 1 to 5 goals. Okay, I need to look through these. Okay, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I could do strengthen or volumize. My hair doesn't have any volume at all. I feel like it's like kind of strong. I don't know, it's so hard to judge your own hair because you know, you don't know. I'll just go with volume. Fragrances, okay. I think I'm gonna go with this one. I don't even know how to say it, but I'm choosing that one. So these are the ingredients of what they're gonna put in there for me. Okay, sounds good. So the next part of this survey is billing information. So I'm obviously not gonna show you guys that because I don't want you having my actual physical address. But yeah, I'm actually really excited. I meant to take this survey like 3 weeks ago when they emailed me, but a lot has just been going on since then. You guys know. So I'm doing it now, and I will keep you guys updated on the journey with Formulate, if I like their shampoo and conditioner, if it works for me. If you have tried it out, I would love to hear your experience down below because I'm really excited about it. That being said, I will see you tomorrow. Hey guys, happy Friday. I feel like a much better day today. I don't know what has gotten into my kids, but hopefully, you know, Monday things are going to be fresh and new and good. But I don't know, we didn't have a great start to our day, and that was because in PE they were just talking the whole time is what the coach told me. So instead of our special reward that we normally get on Fridays, which they had already brought money for, keep in mind, because basically they're allowed to go to our little, it's like a school store, and they can buy like snacks and things like that. Well, everybody of course had already brought money for it because it's Friday, but instead of going today, we spent the time we would have spent going writing apology notes to the PE coach. And so we went and delivered those, and after that, honestly, it was a great day. Like, we didn't have any issues. It was actually a lot of fun, and I like Fridays anyway, so that was nice. We are also working even more on our fairy tale writing, and it's just so fun because I'm starting to see their stories come to life. They're getting all their ideas out on paper, and I just cannot wait to read them. And what I am planning on doing, sorry, I'm like walking around. What I'm planning on doing is laminating the pages, and I made the pages to where they look like, I don't know, to where they look a little bit fancy, a little bit more like a book, and they're gonna make their front cover, back cover, they're gonna have an author's page, like, it's gonna be a big deal. And as we go through and write our story, I am going to laminate the pages, and then at the end, hopefully, they're gonna be bound, and then they can keep them forever. Yeah, so I'm really excited for that. I guess other than that, like, really not that much happened today. I don't know, it was just a good day, and we didn't do a whole lot. There's not really like any stories or anything that I have to share with you today. And I guess that's really it for this week. I am gonna go to the school on Sunday, I think, after I take Miss Tesla here. Yeah, after I take you to get a haircut, huh, baby? Yeah. We don't give her like a full haircut. It's more just like sanitary type things in her little paws because she's sliding all over our floors, huh, baby? So yeah, I'm gonna take her to do that on Sunday, and then I'm going to go to the school and just do my copies and things like that. So that'll be in next week's vlog. But if you're watching this before the 10th, there is still time to enter my teacher bag giveaway on Instagram, so hop on over there. I'm giving away 3 of my favorite teaching bags for you guys, and I would love for you to enter and win one. So that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. If you're not subscribed already, make sure you click that red subscribe button down below and like this video so that other teachers can see it. Also, the very next video that is coming out from me is going to be a January favorites video. Yes, I know it is like already February, but you know, I'll be better about it for February favorites. I don't know, I just really want to start doing it, so I'm gonna film that this weekend. But I love you guys and happy teaching.